Hi, I'm Sherry here at the Little Beading Closet. Learn how to make these bracelets using 4mm crystals and seed beads. Not only are they beautiful on the outside, and they're also finished on the inside so the crystals won't rub against your skin. Decide for yourself how far apart you'd like to space your crystals. Let's take a close-up look at all the supplies we need. 4mm round crystals or 4mm bicone crystals. Size 11 metallic seed beads, size 11 seed beads in an accent color, 4 around each crystal, and size 8 seed beads. I suggest using a simple lobster claw clasp for the bracelet, and I'll begin with 6 feet of beading thread on a size 12 needle. We're going to begin by making the bezel for the crystal on the end, and then working on our bracelet length. And then you can add seed bead links to the end to make sure you have the appropriate length for your wrist. And we're going to start by picking up our size 8 seed beads. Begin by picking up 4 of the size 8 seed beads and bringing them down near the end of your thread. Leave about 12 inches so you have enough thread to add more links at the end and attach your clasp. Needle back through all 4 of the seed beads you just added, and then back through the very first one. And pull that tight into a right angle weave unit. I'll flip it in my hand. Now we're going to pick up one size 8 and come into the next one. Repeating that again. The third size 8. And one more. Coming back through this one. And pulling it tightly into place. And then stepping into the first sticking out size 8. Now we're going to be putting 2 of our size 11 seed beads through the next sticking out size 8, 2 more size 11 seed beads into the next sticking out size 8, repeating that all the way around with 2 more 11s into the next sticking out size 8 and 2 more size 11s, coming into the next sticking out size 8. Needle through the next 2 size 11s. Now you'll be using your 4 accent beads. Picking one up, come into the next 2 11s, and pull that accent bead tight so it sits on top of the size 8 underneath it. Picking up one more accent bead and coming through the next 2 11s. Again, you're pulling it tight so it sits on top of the 8 below it. Just repeating that with the third accent bead into the next 2 11s and the last one into the 2 11s before the first accent bead that you added. And step up into the first accent bead and pull everything tight. It's formed a nice little cup. Picking up one of your bicones, Xing the top of the accent bead, needle into the bottom of the one on the opposite side, and pull your bicone or round bead right in the middle. Needle back through your crystal, pulling it tight and pushing it down into place, and needle up through your accent bead. And now you'll have your crystal set inside your little bezel. Coming out of the accent bead on the top, I'm going to needle into the size 8 down here. And now you just have to decide how close together you want your crystals, and it will just depend on how far you make your little chain stitch between them. So let me show you how to work on that. Pick up 2 size 11 seed beads and needle back through the 8 in the side opposite of your thread. And needle into 1. Pull that tight, picking up 1 more size 11, needle back into this one, and then needle through the 8. Step up through this one, and come back through here. Picking up 2 more size 11 seed beads, needle back through your 11 in the side opposite of your thread. Pull those down, and step up into this one, pulling everything tight. And that will be all the size 11 seed beads you use here. If you want to space your crystals out like this, you would then move on to the size 8 seed bead. But for this tutorial, I'm going to space them out a little bit more, like this example here. So let me show you how to continue the stitch a little further. Pick up 1 more size 11 and come down into this one here on the right, and then back through the single one here. Just put your finger on it and pull at the same time to get a tight stitch. Come up into this one. Again, put your finger on it, pull at the same time, back through the one on the top. Picking up 2 more size 11 seed beads and needling back through my size 11. Coming up 1, and now I'm going to end with a size 8, and that will start the bezel for my next crystal. Picking up 1 8, needling down into the 11, putting my finger on top of it and pulling tight. Back through this one, stepping up into this one here, and through my 8. Let's add another bezel and crystal. Begin by picking up 4 of your size 8 seed beads and needling back through the size 8. For the moment, I'll turn it in my hand. With no beads on my needle, just step into the very first size 8. You need 3 more size 8s. Picking one up, needle into the next size 8. 1 more 8 into the next one, and 1 more 8 into the next one. And you can also come into the 8 that's connected to the 11s and pull that into place. And go ahead and turn my piece back over, putting 2 11s into every sticking out 8. The third set of 11s, and 2 more 11s coming into the 8 down here at the base. Needle through the first 2 11s, picking up one of the accent colors and coming into the next 2 11s, pulling that on top of the 8 below it. 1 more of the accent colors into the next 2 11s, starting to form that little cup, coming around. Picking up 1 more into the next 2 11s. We just formed our little cup, but I'm going to needle over here to this accent bead. we're coming over here to the end because not only is that where we're going to start to add our crystal, but when we finish adding our crystal, we want to end up here. So we're going to start here. We're going to start where we want to end. Picking up one of our crystals, coming out of the bottom of our accent bead, needle into the top of the accent bead on the other side, and pull the crystal into the bezel. Needle back through your crystal, and push it into place, and needle down through your accent bead, and then step into the size 8 below it. Alright, we're going to add the size 11 link in between, so picking up 2 of the size 11s and coming back through the 8. Pulling those tight, and then needling up through one of the 11s. One more 11, coming down through this side, pulling tight, and back through my 8. Coming back up this side, and through the one on the end, and 2 more 11s, needling back through the one on the end, and up through 1. Picking one up, coming down this one, and back through this one. Coming up this side, through the one in the middle, 2 more 11s, and back through the one that your thread is exiting. Needling up this side, and now the size 8 coming down to the right. Needle through this 11 here, step up into the one on the side, and back through the one on the end. Now you can add another bezel and crystal and continue working on your bracelet. Before you attach the clasp, you're going to start checking to see how far you're coming along. I'll need to add a little bit more of my size 11 link off of this crystal bezel here and this one here too. With my clasp, I want to finish with the 2 size 11s on the end, and then I'm going to needle through my lobster claw clasp and come back down into the 11. This lobster claw clasp takes place of the size 11 seed bead that would be sitting there. And then needling back through here, I'm going to treat this as a right angle weave here on the end and retrace it as many times as my thread will let me. Down here, back through here, just retracing through my clasp and back through here and through here. And then coming down here, through the middle, coming through here, adding a half hitch knot, through my 8, adding another half hitch knot, and needling away from my knot. And trim off my thread. Just repeat the steps on the other side and attach the rest of your finding. Enjoy your new crystal bracelet, and as always, I hope you have a beautiful day.